Twitter's pretty trash, right? I know every time that I bring it up, I don't like to do Twitter journalism, but I also like to provide you context as to why I think that Twitter is a absolute dumpster fire and the perfect concentration as to why mainstream media and most of the clickbait journalism out there is in the state that it is. Because you got this headline right here. Arkansas bans a gender-affirming medical care for transgender minors. So, what does that mean? Okay, if we can take it from the postmodernist, neo-Marxist lens, how we can distill it into basic layman speak? Well, Arkansas bans kids from making life-altering decisions that they will more than likely come back to regret. And if they still want to go through the dick chopping or dick pulling procedure, well, just wait a couple of years. Maybe sit on it, kid. Because how we got here is actually pretty confusing. It's a little bit different. Just like how Kristi Noem cucked out to transgendered sports, Asa Hutchinson, the governor of Arkansas, tried to cuck the state out of something that was very important because, I don't know, he had a fucking mental breakdown? Temporary insanity? Perhaps. But this was yesterday. Okay, Arkansas governor vetoes ban on youth gender reassignment procedures. Once again, I don't know why Epoch Times is trying to turn this into a word salad, but it's a little bit better than Twitter. Just slightly, though. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson on Monday vetoed a bill that sought to ban gender reassignment surgeries and hormone treatment for children under the age of 18. Hutchinson said he believed the bill, House Bill 1570, is overly broad and could set a new standard of government interferences into medical care and relationships between medical providers, youth, and their parents. What a fun and wordy way to just back out of something. Just like what Kristi Noem did. The governor said he was also worried that the measure could lead to detrimental consequences for some youth, such as suicidal tendencies and drug use. Yeah, that's called being a kid, okay? Like, I'm trying to think, okay? Because I went to public school. I've been very open about that, but I might have gone to school with like a handful of gay kids, but nobody who transitioned. At least not that I can think of. And even if I did, I can only think of one instance, and she was like a severe tomboy. I couldn't be asked to figure out if she actually went through with a surgery or even got it. Maybe she was just happy being a lesbian, which I couldn't imagine because the numbers are out on that, and somebody's getting beat up in that relationship. I kind of know who's going to be doing the beating up, but anyways. And also took issue with the lack of accommodation for youth who are currently undergoing transition treatments. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you should probably just complete whatever's going forward. I think you can probably make a special exemption for the 2 or 3 that are probably going through gender reassignment surgery in fucking Arkansas, okay? This isn't like Massachusetts or fucking Oregon where these ideas are wildly popular. This is Arkansas, you idiot. If House Bill 1570 simply prohibited gender reassignment surgeries, then I would sign the bill. But the bill is overboard extreme and does not grandfather those young people who are currently under hormone treatment. Oh well, sucks to suck. I've been told that it's completely 100% reversible, even though the numbers are back on that, and most people, not most people, it's only 40%. Once they go through the procedure later in life, end up having regret as to going through that, and when you start pumping through different hormones based on your actual biology, your increased risk of osteoporosis, cancer exponentially go up. And you try to tell me that lopping off your tits or your cock is somehow reversible, right? Oh, your body will just naturally figure out a way to do that. But thankfully, the Arkansas Legislature overrided the veto. Thank God there is a body of elected officials who actually know what's good. And, okay, before we get into the final decision on this one, what the fuck is wrong with Hutchinson? Like, this dude has been off his rocker for a while. I hadn't seen this one before, but I was just doing some background as to why he would, I don't know, do this. Like, does he have some secret donors like Kristi Noem? Is he, like, got compromising pictures from some journalists out there? Like, what's his fucking deal? Because this just doesn't seem at all very popular, because he was one of the governors who hopped up and hated the COVID restrictions, and he got rid of them. He seemed like he was pretty based on that, but how can somebody be so based on one subject and then be totally off on another? And we'll add another one to that, because he would not support Trump in 2024. He should not define our future. Well, buddy, that ship's already sailed. Let's see his justification on that. So he was on CNN, which should be a red flag anyways. Hutchinson said, "No, I wouldn't," in regards to Trump running again in 2024. It's time. It's good he's He's got a good family. I worked with Ivanka and others, and they love America, but I would not support him for re-election in 2024. He's going to have a voice, but as former presidents do. But there is many voices in the party. Very well spoken individual. Again, he should not define our future. Does anybody remember those numbers coming out of CPAC, or am I alone on this one? We've got to respond and identify with the issues that gave him the first election and gave him support throughout his presidency. There is one that we have to reach out to, and it's based upon conservative principles and reaching out to the blue-collar voters that are important and identify with him because he's fighting for them. And we've got to take that message, but we've just got to handle it in a different way with different personalities. Overall, I actually agree with his message. Okay, the movement that Trump has started should definitely reach beyond Trump, but who's stepping up right now? DeSantis still has another term as governor in Florida. So is he going to fuck over the people of Florida for 2 years? I don't know about that. Like I said, 2028 for DeSantis. Definitely, 100%. But who else? Pence? Go fuck your mother. Know him? Not after the shit that she's pulled. Yourself? Oh, come on, At. Nobody would vote for a guy with a first name Asa. Get out of here. He just proved himself in this interview that he is a guy who just can't fucking read a room. Because if there's anybody who's more popular as a Republican right now, I've not found them. So the legislature overrode the governor's veto. The Arkansas State Legislature has overridden Governor Asa Hutchinson's veto Tuesday on sex reassignment surgeries for minors, rendering certain transgender procedures illegal in the state 90 days after April 30th. Well, shouldn't you be able to get your hormones in the next 3 months? Hope so. If not, you're going to be shit out of luck, kids. Both of them. Like, I couldn't imagine that there's very many fucking kids going through gender reassignment surgery. This is once again just some asshole picking convenient little statistics in order to justify their fucking weak-kneedness. Arkansas State Senate voted 25-8, and the State House voted 71-24 to override the governor's Monday veto. I'd imagine, what, 2/3 majority? Those are the numbers, and that's what they look like. And that's what it is at the federal level anyways, in order to override a veto, including drugs and surgeries and preventing transgender procedures from being considered deductible expenses for income tax purposes. Taxes. That's what this was all over. Just taxes. State-funded wig transplants. Fucking Christ. Republican State Senator Alan Clark, a sponsor of the measure, said before the vote, "This bill sets out to protect children in an area in which they very much need protection." Family Council, an Arkansas-based group, called the override the right decision. And some Twitterites are probably calling it the alt-right decision. The legislation prohibits sex reassignment surgery on children in Arkansas. The bill also prevents funding of sex reassignment surgeries performed on children. Gender reassignment surgeries can leave children sterilized and scarred for life. Yeah, that's another thing that people don't bring up as well. It's going to be a genetic dead end. Medical researchers do not know the long-term effects of these procedures and therapies, but the early returns aren't looking good. That is why many people equate them with experimenting on children. Dr. Mengele could not be reached for comment. Governor Hutchinson said the bill is overboard, extreme, and does not grandfather those young people who are currently under hormone treatment. This is an example of restraint is better than overboard actions. What, are you just supposed to wait? Are you just supposed to tell kids, no, just wait, and eventually we're going to pass this bill? So we don't want to inconvenience you at any moment. Fucking moron. Some have said sex change surgeries contain life-altering dangers with a gender dysphoria who insist on receiving cross-sex hormones following puberty-blocking drugs. The end result of blocking puberty from occurring normally, they wanted, could be the fast-forward to middle age and the health concerns that normally come of those in their 40s and 50s, Dr. Susan Berry reported. And again, I think that this is great, right? Normally I'm for complete and open industry, business, whatever you want to call it, okay? Whatever the fuck you want to do, go out and do it. But when it comes to kids, that's tough, right? That's tough. Normally, you want to be able to just look after your own inner circle and look after your own family. But when you're doing stuff like this that is going to have repercussions generations later, when you start to normalize this type of pseudoscience, that's when you can start stepping in. You guys can definitely see the difference between somebody hiding behind this type of legislation and somebody thinking that a rapper selling satanic shoes is just a little bit different. Okay, it's the same type of argument that you get from some of those libertarian parties out there that were saying, oh, Clarence Thomas and his attack on free speech must be stopped, the regulations, and it's shut up. Keep going down this path and you're going to have nothing but, oh, I'm a private company. Fucking do nothing idiots. No, I'm glad the state legislature looked at what Hutchinson was doing, saying, nah, we ain't going to be on board with this one. We aren't going to stand idly by, and we aren't going to wait for you to issue executive orders as some sort of a mea culpa later to try and save face. We'll be watching this guy pretty closely. I don't expect him to reform anytime soon, and it doesn't matter. He's going to be fucking retiring anyways, because Sarah Huckabee Sanders is running in 2022 to replace him anyways, so I guess this was just trying to be one of those parting shots anyways, so fuck you. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. With that said, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I'm Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.